going on, everybody? Welcome back here today to another video, and today's video we are going to be redrafting the 2018 draft. So I'm going to be redrafting the lottery here today, as most of these guys' rookie seasons are pretty much over or about to be over. If you guys want to see me redraft maybe any other draft class, let me know in the comments below. We're going to base this off what we know now. Also got to take into consideration what the team situation was back then, who they had maybe at a certain position, steered them away from drafting a certain position. So let's get right into this. So with the first pick in the draft, the Phoenix Suns took DeAndre Ayton. At the time, they obviously had a lot of wing players: Devin Booker, TJ Warren, Josh Jackson. They still do. And some people thought with the hiring of the new coach, Coco Scov, they thought they were going to go Luka Doncic because that was I believe, his international coach. They went DeAndre Ayton, but obviously this is kind of a no-brainer with the redraft. We are going to have the Suns select Luka Doncic. 100% the best rookie season on this list. Pretty much, it's a no-brainer taking Luka here. One of the best playmakers just in general in this draft, and pairing up Luka Doncic with Devin Booker would be a crazy duo to see for the next 10 or so years. Coming in at pick 2, we have the Sacramento Kings. Obviously, a lot of people can agree that Trae Young has been the second best rookie here, but they have De'Aaron Fox. There was no way they were going to really draft Trae Young, so I'm going to have them select a different power forward than who they originally drafted in Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, Jackson Jr. showed flashes of insane defensive potential while also be able to shoot the ball. Obviously, with the stretch 4 becoming a huge thing in the NBA now, where you really need your power forward position to be able to knock down a 20-plus foot jumper. And Jaren Jackson's defensive presence, along with Buddy Hield, along with De'Aaron Fox, would have been a nice trio. I'm not knocking on the Marvin Bagley pick. He's actually been really good, and he hasn't even been starting. But if we did redraft this, I would go Jaren Jackson Jr. for the Kings. Coming in at pick 3, I am going to still have the Dallas Mavericks here. I know that they did not originally have this pick, but I am going to put all the trades. So I have the Mavs picking at 3, the Suns picking at 10, and the Hornets picking at 11, and the Clippers picking at 12 and 13. So the Mavs here, obviously they had Dennis Smith Jr. at the time, so it really would have been a questionable decision for them to take Trae Young, so I actually have them taking DeAndre Ayton. Now, DeAndre Ayton, I feel like has been kind of an under-the-radar rookie, even though he was the #1 pick in the draft. He's been a kind of a double-double machine on crazy efficiency, but it just sucks that he's been in Phoenix when they're going to win just less than 25 games this season, and really haven't had a playmaking point guard at all. They've had Eli Okafor, they've had Tyler Johnson, they've had DeAnthony Melton, Devin Booker's trying to play some point guard, but I would really love to see DeAndre Ayton with like an actual point guard that's good. So with the redraft, I do have DeAndre Ayton falling 2 spots to the 3rd pick to Dallas. Now coming in at pick 4, still no Trae Young, since the Grizzlies at the time, they had Marc Gasol, they had Mike Conley, so really wouldn't have made a lot of sense for them to take Trae Young here. And I have them taking Marvin Bagley in replacement to Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, with Marc Gasol being a pretty good defender at the center position, pairing Marvin Bagley with him would be really interesting. Even though Marvin Bagley isn't like a stud defender, he actually showed people some defensive potential this year, because a lot of people thought that was the huge knock on him. Not really a good defender at all. And if Marvin Bagley, I think one day could be a 19-10 guy. And if Marvin Bagley III got to play with Marc Gasol for maybe the first half of the year and Mike Conley, who knows? He probably would have done the same thing maybe he's doing now, or better. He could have probably actually started in Memphis. And I have Marvin Bagley coming in at pick 4. Now, pick 5, the Atlanta Hawks. Yes, I have them still taking Trae Young. It didn't really help that the Kings, Mavs, and Grizzlies all had like a solidified point guard. Yes, there was questions about Dennis Smith Jr., but at the time, it would have been really dumb for them to draft another point guard for the 2nd year in a row. So Trae Young started off struggling in the month of October and November, but since December, he's been really, really good. He's been averaging, I believe, over 9 assists, over 17 points a game, and his 3-point percentage has drastically gone up since the beginning of the year, and he's actually showing why he's maybe the 2nd best player in this draft. And with him falling to 5, this would be technically a steal for the Hawks, and they would also have the 1st-round pick from the Dallas Mavericks next year. And who knows, if they got DeAndre Ayton instead of Luka, they could have been worse, but it was top 5 protected, and you know what, Dallas is pretty bad this year anyway. Moving on to pick 6, this was tough. It was between 2 players at a certain position. Those 2 players were Collin Sexton and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I am going to go Collin Sexton here. If you asked me this question in the month of February, or even maybe the beginning of March, I would have probably chose Alexander, but what Sexton has done recently on a Cavs team with really no other good players, I mean, Kevin Love was hurt for a little bit. He's back now, but I mean, it's really not like crazy addition. He's got Jordan Clarkson. He doesn't really have that many good guys around him, as Gilgeous-Alexander has played with Danilo Gallinari and Tobias Harris this year. who both are probably top 45 players this year, maybe top 30. And Sexton, I don't know what he is. He's 6'2", so he would be a very small shooting guard, but his just passing hasn't really been that good, but his scoring has been insane over the past 2 months. And I think the Magic here with Vucevic, with Isaac, with Gordon, they would obviously go a guard here instead of Mo Bamba, and I have them taking Colin Sexton. Moving on to pick 7. This is a pick where it's going to stay the same, and I have the Bulls taking Wendell Carter Jr. again. Now, Chicago's been a mess this year. Levine's been hurt. Markkanen's been hurt. Carter Jr. has been hurt. They traded away Bobby Portis. They fired their coach. Zach LaVine, though, pretty much broke out this year. Lauri Markkanen showing that he could be one of the best power forwards in the league very soon. And Wendell Carter Jr. has been really good. He's showed that he can kind of shoot the ball, which is huge, especially for a center nowadays. He showed elite defensive potential that one day he could be a top 5 defensive big man in the league, and he was hurt for a little bit. He did miss kind of the remaining of the season. He didn't play obviously through March, and maybe if you just had a steady coach and he didn't get fired throughout the year, and maybe if it was a better coach than Jim Boylan, we could have seen a lot better of him. I think Wendell Carter Jr. is arguably a top 5 talent in this draft, and I have the Bulls like very contently retaking him at 7. Moving on to pick 8 here, I have the Cavs taking the 3rd point guard in this draft after Young and Sexton, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, Gilgeous-Alexander shows probably the best defensive point guard in this draft. He shows that he can actually be a really good playmaker. Doesn't need to drop 25 a night. Maybe never will surpass 20 points a game. But his basketball IQ, his defensive potential, and just his playmaking honestly shows that he could be a huge part to anybody in the top 10. Maybe he wouldn't have been this good if he had to play in a situation like Cleveland, but I think the Cavs would be pretty content here with getting him after losing Colin Sexton to the Magic at pick 8. Moving over to pick 9, this was a tough one for me for the Knicks, and I ended up actually staying put with Kevin Knox. It was tough. There's obviously guys like Michael Porter Jr., Mo Bamba, Miles Bridges, Landry Shamet, Kevin Huerter, but even though Kevin Knox did have a very rough February and kind of March, I still think the Knicks would go with him at 9. He shows obviously a lot of potential. Playing on the worst team in the NBA doesn't really help. He's played with Frank Ntilikina at point guard. He's played with Mudiay. He's played with Dennis Smith Jr. He's played with Hezonja. And 2 of those point guards he's mainly played with, Mudiay and Dennis Smith Jr., aren't pass first point guards really at all. And Mudiay, if you watch the Knicks, is a ball hog. So seeing Kevin Knox kind of play with that poor of talent at the point guard position this year, it does show some hope for him. One good thing about him is his 3-point shooting. It's actually been pretty consistent throughout the year, at least above 35% most of the season. There is definitely defensive concerns, but he hasn't really played with insane defensive talent around him. There hasn't been a huge bulk of minutes that he's played with Mitchell Robinson. There has been sometimes, but I think if he played a lot with Mitchell Robinson, Frank Ntilikina, it would maybe be a little bit better for him on defense. That's probably a knock on David Fizdale. But I think the Knicks would be pretty content still taking Knox here at 9. I don't think there's a no-brainer pick above him. I wouldn't be mad with any other pick here for some other guys, but I'm going to have them still taking Kevin Knox here at 9. Now, moving on to pick 10, this is the Phoenix Suns. They did trade the future Miami pick, which was later put in the Tobias Harris deal, to the Sixers, and they took Mikal Bridges, but I actually have them taking Mo Bamba here. Now, Mo Bamba obviously was the backup center to Vucevic, was hurt, really didn't get a huge chance to shine. If you guys remember, and if any of my takes going into this draft, I love Mo Bamba. I actually kind of liked him better than DeAndre Ayton, which I was wrong for this year. I still like Mo Bamba a lot. I hope, honestly, the Magic don't bring Vucevic back, but if they do, then I kind of hope they trade him, because it's kind of a waste having your 6th overall pick ride the bench. But I think the Suns here, if they had Luka Doncic and Devin Booker, they didn't draft DeAndre Ayton, so they kind of need a center. And I think Mo Bamba would be an insane fit. Imagine getting Mo Bamba and Luka Doncic along with Devin Booker for your future. I like the Mikal Bridges pick a lot. I think he would be insane on a team that actually is making the playoffs, Philadelphia. But I'm going to have the Suns go Mo Bamba here at 10. Now, pick 11. This is the Charlotte Hornets. Now, they went Miles Bridges. They technically went Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but then traded. But they obviously went Miles Bridges here. Now, I'm going to have them taking Michael Porter Jr. here. Now, this might be a risky pick because obviously Porter Jr. hasn't played this year. So you're like, damn, you're going to put him that high, even though we haven't seen one single game from him this year. But in my mindset, I'd rather take the risk of Michael Porter Jr. than what we've seen of Miles Bridges this year. Yes, Bridges has shown crazy athleticism, and the potential is there. He hasn't really started at all. Maybe this is a knock on Borrego and just the Hornets development staff. And maybe Bridges was somewhere like on the Clippers, or he was in Philadelphia, he would just maybe be a better prospect than what he is now. But I'm gonna have the Hornets go Michael Porter Jr. Like I said, I kind of like the risk of MPJ of what we see Miles Bridges right now. So Hornets at 11, Michael Porter Jr. Now Clippers here at 12, at 13. This was tough. Like, there's like 8 players that I want to fill into these last 3 spots, and it's really hard. But at 12, I have them going Landry Shamet. Now, Landry Shamet has shown insane skills from the three-point arc this year. He's arguably the best three-point shooter out of anybody on this list this year, even better than Trae Young. He really wasn't a huge impact in Philadelphia. Yes, he was a nice bench piece, but nobody really heard of him that much because he really wasn't obviously anything better than JJ Redick, nowhere close to better than JJ Redick or Jimmy Butler. Obviously, the Clippers traded for Shamet in the Tobias Harris trade. Obviously, they went Gilgeous-Alexander here with this pick, but I think Shamet is kind of a no-brainer for them with the shooting, and they already kind of traded for him, so they clearly like the dude. It was hard not putting Kevin Huerter here, or maybe even a Miles Bridges, and I have the Clippers going Landry Shamet at pick 12. And moving on to pick 13, this is really tough as well. Like I said, there's about like 7 or 8 players left that I want to fill into these last 2 spots, and I can only put 2 players here. But at pick 13, I have the Clippers taking Mitchell Robinson. Now, Montrezl Harrell broke out this year. Obviously, they were able to trade for Zubac on the dumb part of the Lakers front office. But at this time, it was kind of a known thing that DeAndre Jordan wasn't coming back to the Clippers, and they really had a hole at the center position. It was Marcin Gortat, I think, at the time. But Mitchell Robinson, he's been quite insane, honestly, since the deadline where Kristaps got traded and Enes Kanter got bought out. The dude is a block machine. He's been top 5 in blocks this year, and he's played less than 23 minutes a game, and the defensive potential is crazy for him. His wingspan is nuts. His kind of athleticism for a center, for him being that lanky and kind of skinny, is crazy. And I have him jumping the highest marker on this list from the 2nd round to pick 13 going to the Clippers. Now, pick 14, this is tough. There's guys like Mikal Bridges, Alonzo Trier, Miles Bridges, Josh Okogie, Kirkus on the Nets, Jalen Brunson, Kevin Huerter left. But with the final pick of this video in the draft lottery, I have the Denver Nuggets taking Mikal Bridges. Now, the reason I'm taking him over guys like maybe Kevin Huerter or Miles Bridges or Okogie or Trier, it's because if we know what Bridges is now, I think he's an insanely perfect fit to a playoff team for somebody that needs to come off the bench. Yes, you would like his 33% three-point percentage to be better than what it is, but his defense has been absurd this year, especially on a bad team. Imagine he was there with Millsap, Jokic, Malik Beasley. I don't know, but I think he would be a perfect fit on a playoff team. He's averaging over a steal and a half, and like I said, if he played maybe with better wing defenders or just maybe a better point guard defender or maybe a better rim protector center, I don't know. I think he'd be really good on a playoff team. It really hurt me leaving Kevin Huerter off this list. He was the guy I was torn on for here. I actually kind of had originally Huerter at 12 to the Clippers, but I just chose Shamet over him. But yeah, that is going to wrap out my 2018 redraft. I had Luka to the Suns, Jaren Jackson Jr. to the Kings, Aiden to the Mavs, Bagley to the Grizzlies, Young to the Hawks, Sexton to the Magic, Wendell Carter Jr. to the Bulls, SGA to the Cavs, Kevin Knox to the Knicks, Mo Bamba to the Suns, Michael Porter Jr. to the Hornets, Landry Shamet to the Clippers, and then also Mitchell Robinson to the Clippers, and Mikal Bridges to the Denver Nuggets. Like I said, Alonzo Trier, Miles Bridges, Josh Okogie, Kirkus, Brunson, and Huerter. You could have all thrown on this list, maybe from 12 to 14, and I wouldn't have been mad at all, but you got to make some cuts here, and unfortunately those guys I left off this list, but obviously they would have probably went 15, 16, 17, etc. So yeah, that is going to wrap out my 2018 redraft. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Do you want to see a 2017 version? Do you want to see a 2016 version? Or do you just want to see the 2018 version because it's the one that's most fresh in our minds? 1,000 likes would be cool on these type of videos, but if you don't like the video, you don't have to leave a like. You can leave a dislike. Just let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate that a lot. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I love you guys. I'm trying to do kind of more NBA content that might be what comes on Sundays. I don't know, but that's gonna be it for me. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.